to finally get to update you on cycle 16. My last video was talking about what we were going to do different with IUI number 3 for cycle 16. And, well, I took my Clomid, cycle days 3 through, 5 days of it. So, yeah, cycle day 3 I started it. Then, after that, I haven't done anything else like the tea or the juice or anything. I didn't do anything like that. But I went in for my appointment today for my mid-cycle scan, and I got a lot of interesting news. Well, first of all, my lining was a 7, and she said that's good. Although I think it's been higher in the past, and I mentioned it in my last videos, but she said that's good for right now. And I was like, okay, so I'm hoping, and correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I'm still really new to like a lot of terminology, even if we've been at this for 16 cycles. But it can get thicker between now and implantation, if I'm not mistaken. And again, you can correct me if I'm completely off on that. But, so that was a 7. And I told her, you know, I felt like I was gonna have cysts again because I've been having the same symptoms, like a lot of pressure right here and just crampy and achiness in my back. And so I told her, I was like, you know, I'm just concerned that Clomid's doing the same thing that it did last time. It's gonna give me a cyst, yada, yada, yada. And the last time I took Clomid, I had a 8 days past IUI ultrasound, and she looked and she could see that there was a cyst there that was still approximately 3 point something centimeters, or like 30 something millimeters, something like that. And she couldn't really tell me like how many she thought had released, so that kind of stunk. But today I found out that I have a good reason to be sore right now because my body responded very well to Clomid. And by very well, I mean kind of too well, because they had to actually cancel my IUI, which, you know, I wasn't upset about for some reason. I wasn't. Like, she came in to talk to me and she's like, I'm really sorry. Like, I was like, it's okay. Like, I understand, you know, you're doing your job, that's fine. And I'll kind of go into now, like, my follicles, which I have the numbers in my phone so that I would get them correctly. Okay, so on my right side, I had 2 follicles, and the smallest one was 10.6. So she's like, that will most likely just, you know, disappear in a sense. It's not gonna release, it's way too small. And then my other one on the right side, I believe she said that one was 28.6. And I could be getting the size wrong, but these are all the right measurements I took off of the paper she gave me. So 28.6 on my right. And I was like, oh, that's good, because they said it needs to be 18. It needs to be 18 or bigger. So I was like, okay, that's good. And then she was going to move to my left side, and she kind of made this face like she was like looking, and I was like, oh no. I was like, is there nothing on my left side? Like, do I only have 1 mature follicle? And she said, oh no, there is something on your left side. And I was like, okay. And so she starts going, and there's this one that on screen, like how they have it, it looked like this big. And I was like, that thing is huge. It's bigger than my other side. And she's like, okay, so there's one, and it was one or the other. It was 30.1. And I was like, wow, that's like a really big follicle. Like, I'm thinking this in my head, and then she moves around, like I see something else, and I'm just like, what is that? So she ends up finding a total of 4 mature follicles on my left side, which is really strange because before and after, like before my other cycles, when they've done, you know, after ovulation, for my next one, they thought that it was more like on my right. And I've always had more follicles on my right when they do my early scan of my cycle, like cycle day 3. Really strange. So those were 30.1, 30, 20, 28.0, and then 18 on my left side. So because I have 5 mature follicles, total of 6, but only 5 were like over the 18 or over, they had to cancel my IUI. They said, you know, we can't do an IUI with that much of a risk of multiples. And they also had to advise us not to have unprotected intercourse. unprotected intercourse. And I'm sitting here like, what? But she's basically telling me like what they have to say, because they can't encourage the risk of having 3 or more babies, and that's why I can't have IUI. I honestly am kind of still wishy-washy about how I feel about this. Like, on one hand, I'm really happy that Clomid, you know, did what it's supposed to for me. I already ovulated on my own, so it super ovulated me, which that's what it's supposed to do. Although generally they're only looking to have like 2, maybe 3 at the max mature follicles. So on that hand, like, I'm happy, but on the other hand, I'm like, dang, like, we don't get to have our IUI, and they're telling us not to have intercourse, you know, unprotected, and I'm just like, gosh, this is really tough. But I also let her know, you know, of what we've done in the past 5 days. She's like, well, there's already a chance that, you know, because it can survive for up to 5 to 6 days. And I was like, well, I guess that's right. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I didn't get it. I wish my husband could have been there, like, to see it in person. I would have loved to see his face when she was explaining it, because I only got to tell him over the phone, and I don't think that was really the full effect. So I really wish he could have been there in person so I could have seen his face. But, you know, I think that we're still going to try naturally without the IUI, because I had these pains last cycle too, even though she only saw 1 cyst after the fact. I had these pains last time too. I can't remember if they were like worse or not as bad, but I just remember I had similar pains last time. So I very well could have had 4 or 5 follicles last time I took Clomid, and we did the IUI, and you know, nothing happened. I would be happy. I will be so blessed and happy if we get successfully 1 egg fertilized. That would be amazing. So I really appreciate all the prayers and thoughts that you guys have given me, and I pray that you just continue to do that, because we need all the prayers we can get. And we know that God will not give us anything we can't handle, which includes good things and also the things where we're wishing we could be pregnant already and it hasn't happened type of thing. So I have faith that no matter what happens in the next 2 weeks, or at the end of the 2 weeks, that it's what's meant to be, and we will just continue our journey from there depending on what happens. So thank you again, ladies, for watching, and I appreciate your positivity and your encouragement towards us, and I just hope that you continue to watch our journey, and hopefully we'll have some exciting news here in the near future. That is all I have for now. Bye!